And here we go. Hi guys, how's it going? I'm Cathal, and you're all very welcome to today's game day. So, just to give you an idea of the format of today's session, it's a basic ask me anything type of question. I am the lead industry expert with the Digital Marketing Institute. So, I work on all the courses. I work in marketing agencies. I own a marketing agency. I've been working in digital since 2005. So, it's a good 16 years in digital marketing. Lots and lots of stuff covered in the courses itself. When there's a particular question, sometimes our students ask, or indeed any of our members, or just people who are interested in digital marketing, they ask a question. It's not always, I'm not always able to answer it, there during the kind of recorded classes. So, what we'd like to do with this session is if there's something on your mind, if there's something, a problem you've encountered, if there's something of interest, that you just want to know a little bit more about, or to kind of tease through an issue, you can just pop that in your chat there. That'll come up for me, and then we'll be able to answer those questions as they come through. So until that actually happens, I've got a couple of questions that were emailed into me. So prior to our last session, a lot of these questions were around things like how to build persona, how to put a digital marketing plan together, how to kind of manage your social media activity. So I thought what we do to begin is to start looking at some tools that we've built within the DMI. So as part of the Digital Marketing Institute membership, you get access to a bunch of tools that we use in our jobs. We use in our day-to-day jobs in the marketing department, like media plans, persona builders, social media calendars, things like that. So I wanted to kind of just show some of the tools, and just what I'm hoping to do is give people a framework for how to approach these type of challenges in a methodical way. What I mean by that is we don't want to wake up on a Tuesday morning going, oh my God, what am I going to put on social today? Or who am I selling to? What do they look like? Or indeed, how am I going to spend my media? So 3 areas I wanted to kind of kick off with in terms of a tools-based approach today was around building a persona, developing a media plan, and indeed managing your social media content. So we've created 3 tools within the DMI library, within the membership library, that you might want to use. Now, while I'm going through these tools, if there's something else you want to know about anything, so we've some questions in about creating courses and different things like that, which I'll lightly get to because we're not necessarily want to. So we've lots of stuff coming in. Great, guys. I'm delighted to see this. Let me begin just by quickly showing the tools. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'll show you what it all looks like. So over here on screen number 2, which you can see there on the left-hand side, you can see that on the left-hand side, or whatever side of your screen it's actually on. This is the type of persona-based methodical approach we like to bring to digital marketing. So what is a persona? Let's just dial back for a moment. A persona is it's a representation of your ideal customer, who you're selling to, whether it's B2B, the type of company or organization you sell to, or indeed business to consumer, where it's kind of a makeup of the person that you sell to. So what we have is, and you might try to kind of if you're a DMI member, obviously you can use this persona builder yourself, or you might kind of develop something along the same lines yourself. If you're not a DMI member, of course you can become a DMI member if you want. But either way, it's about the methodology. It's about how to approach it. So the way I've done it here is our first tab is our company. It's our company overview. So our company name, our industry, our location. Because what is the first thing that you're asked when you set up a Facebook campaign, a Google campaign, any campaign? What location do you want to target? So when you set up a campaign on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or Google or whatever, the first thing it asks you is, what location are you targeting? So knowing your location is essential. Just fill in as many goals as you can about what the company is trying to do, your own company or indeed your client's company, sales cycles, and have you got access to those tools. So just a kind of quick heading area. So info about the company, their sales cycles, and then have you access to the tools. Then we've got other tabs here in our persona builder. So we've got, right, our persona is called a business owner, their age and their gender. We can fill that in. So they're female and they are 35 to 44. They're located in London or whatever. We could put in their income. If we want to adapt something like this to ourselves, we can do this. This is the beauty of Excel. So I can right click, say, and I might put in something like device preference. And they're mobile first, for example. So we can say mobile first. So what am I doing? I'm challenging myself to fill in key components about my audience, who they are, their likes and dislikes, their hobbies and their skills, their traditional media consumption. So traditional media being TV, radio, print, different things like that. Then their digital media consumption. So we can say they use Instagram for inspiration or researching, or we've all these different. What's the channel? Why do they use it? How often do they use it? Having an idea of the channels that your customers use, the purpose they use these channels for, and how often they use it allows you to develop content that matches their purpose and then post that content at a frequency that matches their login cadence. So this will help you build your digital marketing plan to target this consumer. So we know their age and gender. We know their age and gender, we know their location, we know their device, we know the channels that they use. Then we just have to reflect. How do they get information? How do they get information about making a decision? And then again, what are the actual resources that they use to make those decisions? What are those main resources they use to make those decisions? We don't do digital marketing for fun. It is fun, of course, but we do it for a purpose. Typically, that purpose is to get the person to take action, whether it's to purchase something, like to buy, or to fill out a lead form, or to become aware of a certain, program or something like that. We can say, where are they in their buyer's journey, awareness, consideration, or conversion, their typical time to purchase, what type of buyer are they, impulse, considered, or cautious. So do they buy off the cuff? Do they take a bit of time, or do they take a long time to buy? All of this information allows you to segment the type of people who buy and take action from you. Then we can do this really interesting thing. It's called a reach value matrix. So how valuable are they to your company, and how easy or difficult are they to reach online? So this is a bit of subjectivity, just based on your own understanding. You might say these are actually quite easy to reach online because they're online all the time, or they are high or low value. So you can just plot them on this graph based on where you think they fit within their value to your business. So not all personas will spend as much money with you. Not all personas are as valuable to you as other personas. Not all personas are online, so they can be difficult to reach and low value. So when your boss says, "Hey, why aren't you targeting young families?" and you might say, "Well, they're hard to reach and they're low value," and then that justifies your focus in on a bullseye persona type. Then you might talk about their buying power, their spend, and other decision makers. This might be particularly relevant for B2B audiences, business to business audiences. Typically, there's 7 people in a buyer's journey for a business purchase. What I mean by that is, if your company is going to buy some software or something like that, they're going to have to get sign off from your own team, yourself, your boss, your chief financial officer, maybe the CEO, maybe procurement. There's a lot of people in that purchase. So to understand who makes that final call. Now you fill out, say, 4 persona types, because we target different people. Different people buy from us, but they're not all the same. And then at the end, we have this view here, which is our reach value matrix comparative to each other. So we can see we've decided our small business owner is high value, but a bit difficult to reach. Our young professional, they're high value and they're easy to reach. University student, very easy to reach, but they don't have a lot of money, so they're low value. And young couples, well, they're busy raising their family, so they don't have a lot of money and they're hard to reach. So this is the persona type that you focus in on. This gives you the clarity of thought to build your media plans, your content, your targeting around this type of persona. So a tool and a methodology like this allows you to just focus, first of all, figure out who are my people, what channels did they use, and then their value to me as a business. Because you will have lots of people that buy from you, but not all of them are valuable. So don't, rather than funneling lots and lots of money and time and resources into your low value persona types, sure, you can target them, but focus in on the high value persona types that are easy to reach and high value to your business, because you will get more bang for your buck when you focus in on this persona type. So this is just a methodology for how I would recommend that you do personas. First of all, fill out as much as you know about their company or about the company that's selling the product. So whatever your client, yourself or your client, what's the industry, all that stuff, just some background information. Then about their personas, who's their first persona that they sell to, their second persona, the third persona, fourth persona, and then understand these persona types in terms of their value to your business and how difficult or easy it is to reach them online. That gives you the focus and clarity of mind to put more of your time and resources into your high impact bullseye personas. And while not neglecting these, you just don't put as much effort in because you're not going to get as much return on investment in terms of time and money for that. So I wanted to just kind of go on from our persona conversation during our last game day. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about as well was media plans. So again, another tool as part of DMI membership. We've lots and lots of tools as part of the membership side of things. I'll get on to the chat questions in a moment. I see that 6 questions have come in. I will get on to them in a moment. But again, one of the things we filled out in our persona type is what channels do our audiences use? So when we go back to here, we can see what channels do they use? Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Facebook, email, search engines, that stuff. So all of our channels, if we're focusing in our attention on our bullseye personas, we're going to have to focus more of our budget in there. So here's the way that I typically do it. I do it by percentage allocation. What I mean by that is I have a total budget here of, say, €12,000 or $12,000 or whatever it is. Okay, I'm going to put 55% into PPC. Now that's over to 105. I might put in 15% into Instagram and 20% into Facebook. When I know what my spend is, 20% of 12,000 is 2,400. I can look at my historical CPCs. So when you go to something like Facebook Business Manager, Google Ads, any of that stuff, in those advertising platforms, you'll see what's called your CPC. That's your cost per click. So when you divide your cost by your historical CPC, you will get the number of clicks you can expect from that spend. So typically for Facebook, we have a cost per click of 58 cents. How many 58 cents are in 2,400? There are 4,138. So I can get 4,000 clicks from that budget. A little bit more expensive for Google. So from €6,000, we can get 1,000 clicks. The other metric that we want to look at is things like our CPM. This is your cost per thousand. How much does it cost you to serve 1,000 impressions on Google, on Facebook, or whatever? So when you divide your cost per thousand, when you divide your budget by your cost per thousand number and multiply that by 1,000, you will get the number of ad serves, the number of impressions you get. So by looking simply at these two numbers, your cost per click and your CPM, both of which are readily available from Google Ads or Facebook or any of that stuff, I'll show you a Google Ads account now, and you'll see what I mean. So within Google Ads itself, we have our average CPM and our average CPC. So I just take these numbers and I just pop them in. So they're readily available in the interface. Likewise with Facebook, likewise with all of the other ones, readily available in the interface. Just pop them in to something like this. When you divide your cost by your CPC, you get your clicks. When you divide your cost by your CPM and then multiply it by 1,000, you get your number of impressions. The next thing we want to understand is something like our conversion rate. So we can get this from Google Analytics. So from Google Analytics, we can figure out how many people buy from me. And in Google Analytics, you'll see something like you've got a 2% conversion rate or a 3% conversion rate or whatever it is. So again, I'll just show you where to get this. And I'll just show you on the demo account. So where you can get this and acquisition, okay. So in Google Analytics, which is your website analytics tool, I'm just in all traffic for say the last year or whatever. 2020. So for the last year, we can see that say the paid search conversion rate is 7.7. The organic search is this, and you can get your different conversion rates for your different channels and pop them into your media plan, the appropriate conversion rate for your channel. Then you know what you're going to spend in total, what the percentage of those spends go across your different channels, how many clicks you can get from that spend, how many impressions you can get from that spend, and how many conversions you can get from that spend. That does not give you a guarantee, but it does give you a prediction of a likely scenario where if you spend 6,000 euros, you will get 84 sales. And you might say to yourself, that's good or bad, or it's not a good return on investment or whatever, but it gives you a scenario forecast. So again, the methodology is to use your total budget, split it by how much you want to spend across each channel in terms of percentage. Use your historical CPC, which you get from your ad interfaces, Facebook, Google, all that stuff. Your historical CPM, which you get from Facebook, Google, all that stuff. And then your conversion rate, which you get from Google Analytics. You pop in these details into a tool like this, and that will give you how many conversions you can expect, how many clicks, how many impressions. Then when you put your campaign live, you can say, am I getting more or less impressions and clicks? Am I getting more or less conversions? And you can discover, are you above or below target? This type of methodology allows you to just kind of predict what might happen and indeed kind of put the right resources in terms of budget to make it happen. So again, another methodology just to kind of go through. And then the final one I wanted to quickly talk about is social media planning. So again, it came up in our last one. How do you plan for social media? So it's hard. Social media is hard. It's a hard thing to do because we have to create content. We have to do a bunch of stuff. We have to post it out there. The last thing we want to do is to wake up on a Tuesday morning and go, oh my God, don't know what I'm going to post. So what we'd recommend is to create something that looks like this, or indeed go to your Digital Marketing Institute membership library or become a member and do this. So we have like, okay, what channels will we use? We'll use Facebook, we'll use Instagram, and we might use Pinterest. And it's going to be something like a competition we're going to announce. And then it's going to be, say, text and video. We enter in our copy. So, win a trip to London, what's your call to action? How do they do it? So comment below, enter, or whatever it is, whatever your competition is. Enter your hashtags, your link URL, and an optional image preview. These are the core elements of a good post. You've got your copy, which outlines what's going to happen. You've got your call to action, which tells people what do they need to do. We include our link to our website or our page or whatever it is, our hashtags that we want to include. That will tell us how many characters are in the post. Ideally, we want to be under like 60 characters, in the post. And then we can include any image previews if we want as well. We might do something different on Twitter and LinkedIn another day. Maybe that's a branding thing. And what you can do is you can set all your posts for the next 2 weeks in this spreadsheet, send it to your boss or your client and say, does this look good? And they go, yep. and then you sign off for the next 2 weeks. You don't need to ask permission every single day. You do it all in one go, and then it's done and dusted. So again, this type of methodology is a way of just focusing in on what do I need to do? Have I got sign off? Does my posting contain all the elements of a post, which is what's the purpose of the post? It's a competition. It's to build a brand. It's to ask engagement, to announce an event, some news, or just some tactical activity that I'm doing to promote some interest. Our call to action, we always want what's called a call to action in our posts. The call to action is buy now, shop now, enter now. It's the kind of the direction you give the reader for what they should do next. Include a link. Obviously, we want a link to our website or whatever we're linking to, hashtags, and then the optional image preview. So again, what I wanted to do with today's session to begin, before I jump onto the questions, is to see just to kind of provide a methodology for how to approach personas. Just to reiterate, how to approach personas, which is this. We have our different personas, their age, their gender, their location, their income, their interests and their habits. So their demographics, their interests and their habits. Then their media habits, because when I know what channels they use, I can then design a media plan to target these people. And then when I know how valuable or kind of easy they are to reach within my business, I can give more media spend to those channels and to those persona types. So that's our reach value matrix. Then we have, as I said, our media plan. So splitting our overall budget by what percentage we want to give to our different channels based on the usage patterns of those channels within our target personas, and indeed within our most valuable target personas. To figure out what we can expect from that media spend, we enter in our CPC, CPM, and conversion rate to get our clicks, CTR, to get our clicks, impressions, and our estimated conversions. When we know our clicks and impressions, we can divide one by the other and get our CTR. But that gives us a likely outcome rather than just guessing what's going to happen. I use these. I'm a digital marketer, and I use these tools in my day-to-day job, and that's why we created them as part of the Digital Marketing Institute membership, to give real-life tools to members to use based on what real digital marketers use in their day-to-day. But handy stuff that's not too difficult, but actually quite valuable. Always good to have a nice persona build around your office, just so you know who you're targeting. Am I saying the right thing? Am I using the right channels? Am I investing the right amount of resources in this persona, in this persona, in this persona, and this persona? Then again, focused attention around media posting, social media posting. So the channels we'll use based on our personas, what we're going to say to them, what's the formats we're going to use in terms of content creation, text and copy, CTA, link, hashtags, and an image preview. All the elements of a good post and what day we're going to post them on. So that's kind of what I wanted to start off with our class today, with our webinar today. So let me see we've a rake of stuff coming in here. Okay, Maureen's asking, how do I position myself in the market with a DMI Pro qualification? From my own experience with any kind of job interviews and all that stuff is when you go into a business and start talking about how you're going to spend their money, they're not going to be that interested. But when you go into a business and tell them how you're going to make them money or how you're going to add to their bottom line, they are very interested. The thing about digital marketing is, unlike traditional marketing, TV, radio, print, where you hear a radio ad, you can't immediately activate and buy. Where you see a TV ad, you can't immediately activate and buy. You can't click a TV screen and buy or click a radio ad. But with digital marketing, you have a direct line to people who want to buy your stuff, whether it's on social media using social commerce or indeed with search marketing or email. So when you're positioning yourself not as a marketer, but someone who drives commercial value for a business. Someone who will come in and say, right, I've got a media budget of 20,000 euro. And for that 20,000 euro, I'm going to make 50 grand or 100,000 euro, rather than, from my own experience, and just a little bit of background about myself, I started actually off in traditional marketing back in 2002. I was a copywriter. I used to write radio ads and TV ads and all that stuff. Then in 2005, I went over to digital. And since 2005, I've been in digital. When I was a traditional marketer, when I was a copywriter, we were seen as a cost on the business. Advertising marketing is seen as a cost on the business. They spend the business's money, but that's not true for digital marketing. When you work in digital marketing, you make money for businesses. I worked for an airline years ago and made them like 100 million euro, made them 265 million euro, but 100 million euro in paid search, and the rest was at organic search and affiliates. But, like, I made the money. I didn't just come in and spend the budget making beautiful arty campaigns or any of that stuff. I was there making money, driving leads, selling things e-commerce, all of that stuff. So when you talk about what you're going to do for a business from a commercial perspective, everyone listens. Because what a lot of digital marketers unfortunately do is they start saying things like, oh, we're just going to build a profile on Facebook and Instagram. And the business owner is going, so what? I need money in the bank. So it's I'll build a profile on Facebook and Instagram to help drive sales, to help drive commercial activity, to help drive leads. That would be a really strong way to position yourself as a digital marketer. Sweeney's asking, are no follow links really of no use at all? So no follow links. This relates to SEO. So the way, just to kind of give you an explainer of what backlinking and links are in terms of SEO. The way that Google decides whether a website is kind of good or less reputable is its kind of democratic system. It uses an algorithm called PageRank. What PageRank does is uses what's kind of like a voting system. You've got a website here, and when other websites link to your website, Google sees that as a vote in your favor. Okay, so if I've got a website and 20 people link to my website, Google kind of sees that as 20 votes in my favor. If those 20 websites also are considered high value by Google, those votes are even more valuable. However, there's two types of links. There's what's called follow links and no follow links. A follow link has 100% of the credit of that vote. So Google goes, right, this link by this website to Cahall's website, that's really good because the website owner is making it a follow link. A no follow link is kind of giving Google an indication that, yeah, we're linking to their site, but we don't really want to give them a full vote in favor. So it does have what's called a signaling impact. So SEO, search engine optimization, is basically it's basically kind of formatting the content on your site to make it visible to search engines. And one of those things that you need to do to kind of make your site more reputable, more trustworthy in the eyes of Google is get votes in your favor, backlinks. The no follow links were always seen as not a full vote, but Google has kind of revealed that it uses kind of different levels of kind of credit from links. So a followed link has a full vote in your favor, whereas a no follow link gives you what's called an SEO signal. So it's noticed by Google, but it's not going to be as impactful as a full followed link. It doesn't have any impact. It's not that it doesn't have any impact. It's just that its impact is slightly diminished. So Maureen's asking about the recording of the session. The course admin team will pop that. I think everyone gets a link via their email. So when you signed up for your email address, when you sign up with your email address, you'll get a follow-up email from this. So we've got a question in here: how to make my first affiliate sale with free traffic. So tricky one. How to make my first affiliate sale. So it depends on your market. With free traffic, your two main sources for affiliates are social media and SEO. The majority of let's do a quick screen share. Let's do a quick screen share here. I'm not entirely sure what industry you're in, But let me just share my screen here, and I'm just going to jump into Google, and we'll do a quick affiliate journey. So for anyone who doesn't know, affiliate marketing is selling on behalf, kind of driving traffic on behalf of someone else. So if I type into Google, best place to visit 2021 in Europe, in USA. Okay. I've all these kind of different ones here. So let's maybe in Europe, let's go in Europe, and we'll go Tripadvisor. So best place to visit in Europe according to Tripadvisor. So best destinations in Europe, the Traveller's Choice Awards has this thing, the Traveller's Choice, London, the United Kingdom. So we've got one piece of content here that contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, loads of different links. Each of these links allows this site. So if I click in here, Crete, I'm suddenly on Crete. Now I can book a hotel, I can rent a holiday, I can book tours, I can book restaurants. There's all these different things. When I make a booking for a flight, a hotel, any of that stuff, say through British Airways from this site, British Airways will pay Tripadvisor a fee. That's what affiliate marketing is. So Tripadvisor is creating this one piece of content here that contains all these different links, best places in Europe. People think, oh, Tripadvisor is an independent website that's reviewing these things and they're going to give me great advice. Tripadvisor gets a kickback from loads of different hotels, tourist boards, airlines, all of that stuff. That's affiliate marketing. When you look like, say, something like this even as well, like best PC 2021, and we go to, I don't know, Tech Radar. We'll go to Tech Radar here. And we've got, so I'll agree here. And then I've got the best computer here, and I can read about this. I can read about this. Oh, look, I can buy it on Amazon. So if I click in here and I buy this computer on Amazon, Tech Radar gets a kickback. They get paid by Amazon for driving that sale. That's affiliate marketing. So to answer that question, how to make my first affiliate sale with affiliate marketing, the first thing you should do is anticipate what are the questions people ask before they buy. You know, so if you're selling fashion, you're selling, I don't know, horsewear products or bridles or saddles or something, they might ask, how do I size a saddle on a horse? If you're selling, you know, tours, you might say, is Malta safe for solo female tourists? So what I do to always get in the head of my consumers is I go to Google and say we're selling computers. Best PC of 2021. Okay, so what is? All right, so the first thing I'll do is just pop that in, and then I might put in an asterisk, and that gives me different things that people are asking. Then you have to say to yourself, what are the likely questions people are going to ask before they buy a PC or whatever? So try to get into their head and anticipate the type of questions that people ask before they buy. Then start inputting this into Google. That will give you some, so what have we got? Like holidays in Malta. Okay, so holidays in Malta. We're just looking up holidays in Malta for the moment. Okay, so holidays in Malta. So people are interested in COVID. Is Malta COVID safe? You know, Malta in October, holidays from Ireland, because that's where I'm currently based. All inclusive. Then you might put in an asterisk, and that gives you different variations of questions. Then you'll say, right, I want to know, so COVID. Okay, and then we can just, you know, is Malta on lockdown? So these are the type of topics that you would write about in your affiliate marketing, and then you can then drive people to your book a holiday in Malta site. So my recommendation is when you're doing affiliate marketing, search marketing, or anything like that, your two main channels are search and social. When you create content that answers what people are asking Google before they make a decision, people use Google to make a decision. You know, they're asking it questions. It's a questions and answers machine. So what are the questions they're asking to help them make a decision around your product type? That's the content you create. When you share that content on social media, the same people who ask Google questions are also on social. And then they'll say, okay, I am thinking about trips to Malta and I do understand that it's not in lockdown or something. So then they will read that content that you've created. It's going to engage them more. You can create different paragraphs around different elements of what people search for, and then drive off to your area. But the thing is, one piece of content that should answer 4 or 5 questions that people typically ask before they make a decision. Then when they're trying to make a decision, that's what affiliate marketing does. Your job as an affiliate marketer is to tell them, these are the best computers. These are the best destinations. This is the way you have to approach buying a GoPro. This is what you have to do to, So you're meant to give people the information they need to make a decision. So where your start is, what are they asking? And that will help you with your things. So is there any chance I can share this sheet? I can't share this. I can't. The sheets are part of DMI membership, so it is available to DMI members. I know that. I'm not sure what level of membership you have to do to sign up for it, but it is available within the DMI membership platform. Is there any? So Lisa's asking, is there any way to get better targeting and age cohort breakdowns for the 65 plus demographic in Google Analytics? There's not. And just so you're aware, and this is what Lisa's asking here. So I'm in Google Analytics here. Okay, so just a quick overview of Google Analytics for people who haven't used it. We have 2 types of analytics. We've got universal analytics, which is the one we all use for reporting, the current standard in Google Analytics. That's what we're looking at right now. The other type of Google Analytics is the new version of Google Analytics. It's called GA4. It's not quite used yet. So we mainly use Universal Analytics for reporting. This reports on your website, people accessing your website. The 4 main areas are who the people are, that's the audience section, acquisition, how they got to your site, what channels did they use. So as a digital marketer, we're going to spend a lot of time doing campaigns in Facebook, Google, all that stuff. So we'll spend a lot of time in the acquisition area. The behavior report shows you the content they looked at in your site, and then conversions, the valuable actions they took on your site. Who they are, how they got there, what they looked at when they got there, what valuable actions they took, like did they buy, e-commerce, all of that stuff. So what Lisa's asking is about demographics. So within the Google Analytics audience report, which will tell you about who your audience is on your website, we have these different areas. So we've got demographics and interests in geo. The demographics report comes with a pinch of salt. So we don't actually have data on our website visitors. It's not like Facebook where you log in, you sign up for Facebook, and you enter your age and your name and all that stuff. So what Google uses is what's called inferred data. Inferred data is based on your recent browsing history. Google reckons that you're a man or a woman, or you're 25 to 44, or you're 55 plus, or whatever it is. It's not exact. It's just a good guess. The challenge comes with shared computers. So say, for example, in my parents' family home, there'd be multiple people using the same computer, and that can kind of scramble the who Google believes is on your site right now. So the demographic reporting needs to come with a pinch of salt. It's not perfect, but it does tell you kind of the overview of your site in terms of 18 to 24 and all that stuff. So what Lisa's asking is, do we have a better breakdown of the 65 plus cohort? We don't. And in fact, even that reporting isn't that robust. It's only okay kind of reporting. Your Facebook reporting, when you sign up for Facebook or Instagram and all of that stuff, people don't typically lie about their age and their gender unless they're a bot or a spammer or something like that. Like your mates pretty much put their real age and address in, or name and age and all that stuff in. But Google Analytics is a little bit hit and miss when it comes to age and gender. So there's not a full breakdown, and there's not a full breakdown available. But and it also needs to come with a pinch of salt. But just so you know, just here's some actions you might use from. So it's okay. It's okay. What are the questions? Think about the questions that Facebook might ask you when you're setting up a Facebook campaign. First thing is where are your customers located? Another thing that relates back to your persona type. Where are your customers located? So when you go to geo, I'm just using the Google Analytics demo account now. So everyone could sign up for the free Google Analytics demo account. Just do a Google search for Google Analytics demo account and you can sign up for the one I'm using here. So we can see that all of our revenue is in the United States, a country of 350 million people. Whereabouts in the States? I can click in. It's in California, a state of 45 million people. Whereabouts in California? So when I'm doing my Facebook campaign, I should focus in on San Francisco. Let's sort by revenue, where my customers are. Let's prioritize. San Jose, San Francisco, Sunnyvale, Mountain View, and then it kind of gets less and less from there. So rather than so if you were to build a Facebook campaign with this information, it would say target the United States, but it's too big and it will cost you a lot of money. So target California, again, it's too big, it will cost you a lot of money. And then so you can focus in a bit further. So you can say, I'm going to focus my campaign on San Jose. And then, so I know where's my location I'm targeting in Facebook. What are the demographics that I'll target? So with age, we can see, and this is a bit hit and miss. We should be targeting 25 to 34-year-olds with my age. And then with my gender, it's pretty much an even split between men and women. But you might focus more of your budget in on the 25 to 44 in San Jose, Sunnyvale, and Los Angeles. And they're the kind of campaigns you'd build. So rather than doing everything, focus in on the areas that can be doing. So great questions after coming in from Katrine. So any tips on the B&B buying cycle, years in the process? So again, if I said to Don Draper in Mad Men, you might remember the show Mad Men, there's a machine out there that people input exactly what they want before they make a decision, and I have access to those questions that people are asking. Think of Google as free market research. You can see what are people asking Google. So when someone is in a B2B purchase process, what are the typical questions they ask at the start? When they're looking to kind of onboard your software or onboard your professional services or whatever it is. The two starting points that I would have for any B2B activity is, first of all, look and see, use your own kind of understanding of your customer and think to yourself, what are they likely to ask? Do a bit of keyword research around, like best CRM software, like tools. So what is the question they're going to resolve? So what I mean by that is we use Google to resolve questions. So what are they trying to do? So we can pop that, put that in there, and we've got maybe they want a PowerPoint. So you can create some PowerPoints to help them with that, to help kind of introduce them to your software or whatever like that. So you do some keyword research is a starting point. Another place to go is ask your sales team. Ask your sales team, why do people buy our stuff? The question I always ask a sales team is, what is the one thing that you say to customers that always gets them to sign? What is, without giving away the goose that lays the golden egg, without giving away the goose that lays the golden egg from your sales team's perspective, but when what are the kind of typical things that your customers, that really gets them excited that they talk to your sales team about, you can do some keyword research on that. Fill your website with the content that people are searching for to make a decision. So when you're creating content for your website, rather than sticking your finger in the air and filling with a bunch of stuff, fill it with the content that answers the questions people ask about your company, about how they make a decision in relation to your organization. Then when they search, you come up as the answer. Think about that as an interaction. They've asked a question and you've come up as the answer. And then you, with that content that you've written, you can position yourself as the solution. So keyword research in your sales team, your starting point to kind of get content, get the right kind of content, because, within a sales journey that might take 2 years, they're going to ask lots of questions. They're going to, there's going to be lots of FAQs. Another thing I'd ask your sales team is, why don't people buy? What are the common objections that people have to buying? An objection is a reason that someone doesn't buy. So if they say, I don't have the time, I'm happy with my existing supplier, I don't have the budget, you create a piece of content that says you are losing ROI by staying with your existing supplier. And that, if that's a common objection, we can facilitate the transition to our solution really quickly. So if their objection is, I don't have the time, don't worry. You're proactively dealing with the common reasons they don't buy from you. So ask your sales team, why do people buy? Put that up, fill your site with the content that answers those questions, why your solution is the bee's knees. Then why don't people buy? So you can proactively deal with the reasons why people might be thinking, I'm not sure. Proactively deal with those objections. Then the next thing we have to consider is what's called social CRM. So social CRM is customer relationship management. It is your database of your target customers. So if you've got companies you want to do business with, you'll have a hit list of companies. This is what's called your account-based marketing. Your hit list of the 5 companies you want to do business with. Then within those 5 companies, you have to identify your primary target. So who is the person in that company that will ultimately use your solution and all that stuff? You've identified them, but that's not enough. And this is where social CRM comes in. Who do they report to? Because they're going to have to create a business case for their boss to onboard your solution. So ideally, you want to create the content that helps them quickly create a business case. Who reports to them? Because their team is going to have to probably use your solution. So you've got your primary target in the middle. You've got who they report to at the top. They'll give sign off. And then you've got who reports to them below them, because they'll ultimately probably use the product. So you have 3 main people to target in your kind of content creation and your LinkedIn outreach or whatever way you're engaging with these target types. So you'll engage with your primary target, and then you'll say, now to help facilitate sign off from your CFO or your CEO or whatever, we've created a useful kind of PowerPoint business case that you can hand them, and then they can adapt it, or you can adapt it with your sales team or account managers or whatever like that. Then they can create their PowerPoint. Easy for them. Now it's easy. You've given them the tools they need to get sign off from the CFO, the CEO, whoever it is. Then when they're talking to their team, the people who report to them, you can create maybe a cheat sheet, a PDF or something that says, these are the quick ways why our solution can improve your day-to-day job. And what you'll do is you'll get buy-in from the team who'll use it, and you'll get buy-in from the stakeholders who'll sign off on it. So when you've got your primary target, when you're using your primary target, or when you've identified your primary target, you do need to identify the people who sign off above and the people who use it below. So my recommendation for a B2B sales process is, first of all, what are the questions? The top of the funnel is, what are the questions people are asking when they're kind of looking at your type of solution? Then you'll talk to your sales team and say, what are the questions? What are the type of things you talk to your prospects about? And what's the one thing you say that always gets them to sign on the dotted line? Next thing, Why don't they buy? What are the common objections to buying? What are the common reasons they don't buy? When you know that information, you can fill your website with the content that people need to introduce your product to them at the top of the funnel. Then when they're considering the sales information to get them to kind of, be more receptive to your sales team, that killer thing that the sales team always tells them, and then the information they need to kind of, you can proactively deal with objections. Now, when they're in the sales pipeline, you need to figure out who do they report to, who reports to them, and then have content that allows them to create a business case for their CFO, CEO, C-suite, and then a cheat sheet for the benefits of how it will make their team's life a lot easier in below. So you have buy-in from everyone around, and you've made it as easy as possible for people to kind of sign off with you. So I hope that gives you a flavor of what we're doing. So Kieran wants to create content courses, use digital classroom. So that would be more an instructional design or course creation style of thing than what I would do. I'm really talking about digital marketing and digital, not rather than course creation here. So I wouldn't really want to go down that route. You might want to engage an instructional designer. You might want to engage a course development team or something like that. But I wouldn't really want to advise on how to, create a content course, because it's quite a broad thing. But instructional design is probably a good methodology to begin. And Katrina, I hope you're happy with the analysis. Remember social CRM, and always, for everyone, regardless of what you're doing, try to get into the heads of your consumers. What do they ask Google? Our first goal is to anticipate what are they asking, then create the content that answers that. Leverage your sales team, understand who they report to, who reports to them, and then you'll have an entire kind of engagement strategy to make it our goal is to make it as easy as possible for people to say yes. We want them to say yes. How can we make that easy? There's multiple people in the process, so that would be my recommendation. Now, have we any final questions, or will we wrap up there? Did you find today's Did you find today's session interesting? If you do want to get a little bit more on those templates that I've shown, you can start looking into DMI membership. There's different levels of membership there for access to these tools. And as I said, everyone gets the recording, so you probably can create them yourself if you want to. But these are proper tools that you can absolutely get from our DMI membership, and they I use these tools day to day in pitches to clients, in business cases, in just focusing what I'm doing, because I can do a million things, but rather than doing a million things, just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really good high impact things. So okay. I won't answer that question on fonts right now. I think we'll finish up. We'll get to that in our next session. So we do this broadly every month. So just keep an eye out on LinkedIn and hop in. They're free. And it's a good way to just answer some questions and bounce some ideas off me or the team or whatever. So guys, if that's it, take a look at membership. Stay tuned to the DMI, and we'll keep you up to date with the latest digital marketing trends on our website, on our blog, and within the membership platform, as well as the courses, of course, as well. So thank you everyone for your time today, and I do look forward to seeing you when I see you. So I've been Cathal. See you guys. Have a good day. Bye.